Rhythm FPSs are a relatively new phenomenon that might be best described as an unholy union between Doom and Crypt of the Necrodancer. Only a handful of games even currently exist in the nascent genre, and it's not hard to see some striking similarities between them. What makes Metal Hellsinger stand apart is the quality of its soundtrack and its slower, more deliberate gameplay. On the soundtrack front, every song in the game is written and performed by Two Feathers, who have previously worked on Battlefield 4 and Warhammer 2 Vermintide. But if you were worried that the game might not sound brutal enough, put your fears to bed. Each track, which represents a different circle of hell and its associated torments, features a different acclaimed metal vocalist, including the likes of Dark Tranquillity's Michael Stan, Lamb of God's Randy Blythe, Matt Heafy from Trivium, and many more. The diverse spectrum of metal screamers on this soundtrack leads to the whole affair taking on a kind of chameleon-esque aspect. The album retains its own identity, whilst also slightly taking on the shape of the music its guest vocalists are most known for. It's an interesting sampler, and by far the most unique video game soundtrack this year. But how does the music mesh with the gameplay? Players will detect Doom DNA in Metal Hellsinger almost immediately. Paths that lead to big arenas where you have to kill everything in order to move on, elite enemies that require more than just shooting to take down, waves of cannon fodder that provide health and a boost to your ever-present fury meter. The rhythm gameplay becomes a factor here as well, as you have to shoot to the beat in order to maintain your combos and keep your fury up as high as possible. Trying to go too fast will have you stumbling, whilst going too slow will result in you getting got by some random demon. Instead, the game focuses on deliberateness, taking the rip and tear mindset from Doom seriously, and brutally dominating any lesser demon who gets in your way. If only the story were as razor sharp. You play as an aggrieved lost soul, the Unknown, on a warpath of vengeance through the 9 circles of hell. Throughout her crusade, she faces aspects of the Red Judge, the devil herself, as the latter tries to strike the former down before she rips hell asunder. In theory, this works great as the narrative backdrop between murder fests. In practice, the story quickly gets bogged down. Metal Hellsinger's narrator is a talking skull that the Unknown carries with her, but he sounds like he should be narrating a 2007 built Ford Tough commercial.
Her guns were the drums of hell. Me? I'm just a fan.
He's also maybe an archangel, and the Unknown is connected to some kind of apocalyptic prophecy, and the Red Judge is actually... No, that will be a spoiler. Ultimately, the story is the weakest part of the game, a sour note in an otherwise perfectly brutal melody. Metal Hellsinger manages to remain entertaining despite its lackluster story, and because of the great soundtrack, and maybe the best rhythm FPS gameplay you can play right now.